Ah yes, the Nintendo 64, when all the games were at its prime. This is SSJ Ryoku, and I'm bringing you the Nintendo 64 Classic Reviews. This video is gonna obtain different compilations of all the Nintendo games that if you haven't got already, and you still own a Nintendo 64, it's not that hard. Just go on eBay and buy these games. What better way to start off a game like James Bond GoldenEye? This game featured many different levels and guns and a whole bunch of action sequences that when the Nintendo first came out, people found amazing. You go ahead, take the story as James Bond. You start shooting people, you go do a mission, you do epic stuff, and there's like a whole bunch of environments. And if you don't have a gun, of course, you always have your trusty karate chopper. James Bond GoldenEye featured 2 health bars. One is not really a health bar, it's an armor, and the left with the red is your health bar. Goes down to 0 and you die. Prepare yourself for something cool. Boom! Headshot! No, not really. But anyways, this game is very good and deserves a really high score for being just plainly epic. You go ahead, shoot stuff up, do missions, and this game really deserves to be played. So if you haven't gotten it, go ahead. Next in our review is Toy Story 2. Toy Story 2 came out from the Nintendo 64 and was made by Disney and Pixar. Pretty much you start off in the beginning of the story where you have to save Woody from a giant fat guy who dresses like a chicken named Al. You start off in Andy's room and pretty much you go around the house killing robots, exploring the environment at first, and by the way, you can't do that. I use cheats, you know, because I'm really awesome like that. But pretty much you would do all the normal things a toy would do. I mean, you go ahead, you jump over flames, you dodge flying puddles of semen, dodge more puddles of semen, and, you know, just go do missions. And, for example, for her, you would collect her sheep. If you collect her sheep, pretty much what she does is she gives you a pizza token. What do you do with these pizza tokens? You go around the house, do different missions, collect more, and you get more new levels. Every level has a big environment, so you can have fun. You find different things that will help you obtain those pizza tokens, and of course eventually you just beat the game. But I would say that this game is really fun and deserves to be played if you haven't. There are tons of mini games and a bunch of missions that are just plainly fun to play, and you can pretty much do whatever the heck you want. So in this game I would say just get Toy Story 2 and you will enjoy it. Next in our retrospect is of course Paper Mario. Paper Mario came out for the Nintendo 64 as a revolutionary Mario game that isn't really based on coin collecting or different, you know, just like normal Mario games. This game is based on RPG style fighting. Playing this game, I eventually got kind of bored, but trust me, the story is full of fun and it's a really interactive world like you've never seen before. So what happens is Mario is invited to a party, or should I say, yes, is invited to eat some cake or whatever with Peach. He goes over to her place, you know, exploring the big, nice castle, and he goes and finds Peach, and she wants to spend time with Mario. But Bowser, like a really badass he is, raises from a giant tower who rides on top of a clown and goes up to space, and eventually he breaks in the damn castle, who has to pay insurance for that window, and now he pretty much just fights with Mario. Mario, like a little pussy, just jumps on Bowser, and Bowser uses his magical fruity wand to become Rainbow. Yes, he turns into a rainbow dragon. Then he blazes Mario with his flames, and pretty much just owns him, and he gets knocked the fuck out. Then Mario is thrown off the castle, yes, and falls to his horrible death. Now, what kind of Mario game would that be? But eventually he lands, he's knocked the hell out, and is helped by the stars from Dora the Explorer. Yes, the stars from Dora the Explorer. What the fuck? Anyways, this game deserves to be played, even though it's weird, but won't compare to Super Mario Kart. That's right. This game is so fucking epic. Gives you 4-player games, a Mario Grand Prix, a versus, and a battle mode. You select your character, your stage, and you're on your way. You're racing, and pretty much you should know what the point of this game is. If you don't know what the point of this game is, you're fucking retarded. The whole point of the game is to win the race. You go ahead, collect items, you know, use it to your advantage until you rack up the ranks all the way to first place. Once you go to first place, what happens? Defend your post until you reach all the way to the end of the finish line. Sweet, sweet victory. Indeed. And you get first place and look at all the others be shameful. Next on our video game retrospect thingy comes Star Fox 64. Star Fox 64 was a revolutionary game. Originally changing from the original Star Fox, kind of similar, but this game takes where you fly around in your awesome Star Fox cruiser thingy, and you start shooting enemies and stuff. Yeah, sounds a lot of fun. But no, really it is. I mean, you go ahead and you have to fight giant boss Andros at the end, and you know, it's a whole bunch of fun. You do the barrel roll, yeah, it's fucking awesome. But you know, it's a good game to play. Star Fox, these are one of the games that are legendary, just like Mario and all those other great games. This gives you a lot of acrobatic moves, fighting enemies. This is training mode, either way. But this is one of those games that are great. So pick this up, even though it's still old. Just pick it up. Next is the great, the baddest. You should know who this is. Yes. It's the great Donkey Kong. This game was released for the Nintendo 64, but you cannot play as this big bad boy unless you had a golden cartridge, if I remember correctly. Throwing bananas and shit, but you know, you have to have a golden cartridge or the game would not be read. So I remember I went to Blockbuster and I rented the game, and it sucked. I didn't really like it, but it's still good. That makes no sense. Fuck it, move on to the next game. However, these are one of the games that become a really good classic. This game came out and eventually had all the Nintendo Prime. That's right. With a decent amount of characters and a decent amount of options, Super Smash Bros. Contained all the characters from the greatest hits of Nintendo 64 games. Link from Twilight Princess, Donkey Kong from Donkey Kong 64, Mario and Luigi, of course, from all Nintendo games. They had a great amount of stages, and eventually Super Smash Bros. Became a third generation, the Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Then, this game started out with a percentage bar. Same as all the other Super Smash Bros. Games, you raise the percentage bar, and the harder you hit your enemy, the farther he flies off the screen. If he flies off the screen completely, he loses a life, or if you gain a score, or you lose a score. If you fall, then you screw. But if you knock your enemy out, like right now, Falcon Punch, and he gets off the screen, you gain a score. Your enemy loses a score when the time runs out. That means that whoever has the most scores at the end wins. And so Super Smash Bros. Was pretty good, but it does not compare to a game that is just amazing.
Mario!
Yeah, Super Mario 64. I cannot begin to explain how awesome this game is. Just by starting off and grabbing Mario's nose, and I mean, who wouldn't want to move his nose and his ears and stuff? I mean, look at that nose. Huge. That's what she said. Anyways, you start off the game. What happens? Princess Peach invites Mario, just like Paper Mario, to eat a cake. She's baked a cake for him, and Mario, like a pimp, accepts. He goes to the castle, and you're action-packed with all these dives, these jumps, and these flips, and giant dives and kicks and stuff, and kung fu action-packed Mario. That's right. So what happens is you can go in the castle and do whatever the hell you want. You think you're ready for anything. Mario 64 was the best Mario game known to man at the time. You pretty much collect coins to set your record. I mean, there's not really use for any coins here. To restore your life, of course, but you mostly jumped in the paintings. They selected from 1 to 9 or maybe 8 missions. These missions you had to do a certain thing that recited within the name. So like foot race with Koopa the Quick. It's obvious you have to do a foot race, which is running. So, you race the giant turtle. By the way, this is one of my favorite missions. And what happens is, you know, you go on, there's a whole bunch of enemies and obstacles along the way. You dodge bomb guys and giant black balls that manage to attack you and stuff. But there's a bunch of bombs and, you know, a lot of enemies. And if you're not careful, unlike all the other Mario games, Mario does not reduce size. And it's a 3D environment game, it's not a 2D, so you can accidentally do crap that you don't want. If you lose all your health bar, you're screwed, you die, and the game's over. No, just kidding. You get knocked out the world and you can go ahead and try again. But it's not just one world. Super Mario 64 contained over 10 to 11 levels that were just plain amazing. They also all had missions, and pretty much you go around the different environment doing all these crazy stunts that pretty much look fucking cool if you know how to play the game. You dodge hidden enemies and you have to be careful. This game relies more on skill than pretty much just jumping and dodging stuff like the original Mario, but here you have to, you know, keep balance, you have to solve puzzles and find out what to do. And the end of every level is always a boss. Mostly the bosses can be big, giant, or small, but every boss has a way of you defeating them. For example, in this first level, you have to jump on this guy's back 3 times. You smash on his back once, twice, and then finally at the end, after you get 3 times, he'll give up and he'll give you a star. When you obtain a star, sometimes if you've already obtained it, then that means it turns to a shadow star. If you haven't obtained the star, it just goes a normal golden star. The castle is so vast that you can actually go around and there's going to be different environments. There's all the way a path leading to the courtyard, there's a path leading downstairs into the basement, and of course there's the main hall, well, the main room. What you have to do is collect the stars to open the big red door with the star, and get the key which will open the other door, orange one, with the keyhole. To get the key, you have to get the stars to go to Bowser, and after you defeat Bowser, you go into his world and you beat him and you'll get the key. Every boss fight, which is pretty much the main boss of a section of the castle, is pretty much Bowser. You can go around his world, enemies will try to stop Mario, but you have to reach the end, and you know, it's all worth it because at the end it's really cool. You fight the big bad king himself, Bowser. Bowser pretty much is the easiest boss, I would say, in this game. All you really have to do is go around him and grab his damn tail. Spin him a few times and, you know, dodge his fire attacks, but mainly grab his tail. The key to fighting Bowser, though, is spinning him, and in every corner of the arena, as you move along the game, there could be less or more bombs. What happens is you have to throw Bowser to the bombs, or you can just, like, pretty much epically fail. And, yeah. But there are some times that, you know, something goes right, and you throw and blow him up. And if you're a Halo fanatic, we have something called the Teabag, which is pretty nice. Yep. What happens is Bowser then explodes into a key, and pretty much it must have been a fake one because he doesn't have Princess Peach, just like all other games, right? You get the key and you pretty much use it to open the big orange door, like I said. But this game has a bunch of surprises and secret levels, which of course, you have fun with. I mean, who doesn't want to slide down a giant red slide of awesomeness? And at the end, of course, you get a star. This game obtains once you have 120 stars. You can open the cannon that's open outside in the front yard to reach on top of the castle, which you will find Yoshi. The creators will give you over 100 lives. Well, 100 lives actually, exactly. And, you know, he jumps off to his death. What happens? You as Mario, go ahead, grab your hat, give a little bit of those 3 jumps, and you fly off into the wind. Yep. Finally, Mario can go home after his hard day of work. This game definitely deserves to win. Okay, maybe not.